Hello everybody, dear chess friends on Twitch. I'm here for streaming the third theory lesson on the French defense, and hopefully I think that you can of course hear me and see me, and maybe you also have already have a look at the first two lessons that feature the Tarrasch. The first lesson was on the Tarrasch, and the second on the knight c3 mainline stream variation of the French defense. Now we are going to have a look at here we are. Let me just check that you are seeing correctly the chessboard, and of course it is. Okay, so now we are looking at the advanced variation. That means white pushes e5 on the on move 3. I have a new beer. It is a lager for product in Deutschland, but I don't know because it seems like more of an Austrian logo, something like that. But who cares? The only important thing when you drink beer is that the beer must be cold. I would say as cold as possible, and this is cold, so it's perfect for me. Let's start the stream. When I see the advanced variation, I am quite confident. The usual reply, of course, is the center is blocked, and now you don't lose tempo and immediately attack the structure. Now the normal move is c3, trying to keeping the structure intact, because this let's say this central duo has a sort of a cramping effect on black's camp, and of course my poor c8 bishop has some problem in finding an active role, and it is important, I believe, that white plays c3 on the fourth move. c3 is the only try for an advantage for white. I'm pretty sure of this. Okay, let's spend some minutes on the alternative at the fourth move for white. For example, what if white goes knight to f3 instead of 4c3? Knight to f3. Okay, you immediately chip away on the center, and then typically he wants to play sort of a gambit. The idea is, okay, I play knight c3, bishop d3, castle, and then I try to create something, and eventually I will recover later the pawn on d4. Okay, now what do you play? You go knight c6, the most natural and normal move in the position, really easy chess. Castle, and then here it is. The only thing you have to remember at this point, that your plan is to go knight g to e7 and then knight to g6, because the knight in g6 does a very good job defending the king side and also putting pressure on e5. Now at this point, white has to go bishop f4. It's now or never, because if you permit me to play in the next move knight to g6 and then maybe queen c7, the e5 pawn is under severe pressure, and you risk you never get the pawn, and also you don't get the attack. So bishop f4 must be played. Now knight to g6, gaining a tempo on the bishop, and now bishop a7, and white goes knight b to d2. Okay, now the chessboard light up, but what I want to say is that black has a solid central presence also counting the d4 pawn that for now is an untouchable pawn. And what I suggest to do? I suggest here to go f5. f5 is a really serious move because, okay, you see, of course, we are threatening to go f4, gaining a piece, but it's not that the point. The point is that we keep the position closed, and we keep playing with many space and the d4 pawn. So if white really wants to attack, and he has to capture en passant, else he will find a pawn down, space down, a silly bishop on g3. Not a great position. I already prefer black here. But let's look what happens if take. Knight to b3, attacking the d4 pawn. Now you can defend the pawn. Okay, you defend the pawn, and this is really good for black. The only thing that white must do and can do is open the way for the queen and try to exchange the defender on g6. So knight h4 is best move, but now you simply go knight takes, queen check, and either you can play the king in f8 and then to g7, or the king to d7 and then to c7. You can evacuate the king on the queen side or keep it on safe on g7. And there is simply a huge center for black, huge center. And the white has the queen, the white bishop, but not enough pieces, not enough space, and initiative, momentum to attack or to create something. At this point, I think black is clearly on top. So this was the knight f3 option. Then there is an even more aggressive option, and also even more dangerous, but dangerous for white, I would say. Queen to g4. Queen to g4 is not a great move because we simply develop the knight, okay? At this point, knight to f3, we chop in the center and bishop d3. If you see, it's the same scheme of the previous, but with the difference that the queen is not on d1 but is on g4. So it is like the queen could move and like this, okay, jumping the knight, but this is the idea. And what do you do here? Okay, at this point in time, there are no weaknesses in the black camp, and the queen is quite exposed on g4. A pawn has been sacrificed. You simply go chasing the queen away. h5. We already see that method of play in the line of the French Tarrasch when white goes knight to d2, and then bishop e7, and then he closes the center, goes queen g4, king to f8, and then attacking the queen, because the queen really has nothing to do here, and she cannot retreat, okay? She cannot retreat because there is the knight in between, and the queen is quite vulnerable here. So, for example, if queen g3, you push h4, and the queen is not really clear where to go. If instead queen to f4, you push f6. This is the right move, because don't worry if there is a check here, because look at this, bishop g6. Simply black has no, bishop g6 and king to d7. Simply white has no enough firepower to create anything. Look at these pieces, 1, 2, 3 pieces, and already in the starting position there is not enough power to create something. So now what do you do? Because now I threaten simply to go pawn take e5, exchange the knight, and then I go queen f6, and I have great central presence. I have the two bishop. I have no problem whatsoever with the king. And also this position is very good, believe me, very good for black. The trick now is to go f takes e5, knight takes, eventually, of course, queen takes, queen f6, and what do you do? What do you do? A queen exchange, g takes f6, and great position for black. Fine. Now there is another move, which is d takes c5 at the fourth move. The idea is, okay, I don't want to sack a pawn. I simply liquidate the center and then develop the pieces. So, knight to c6, easy chess, most natural move. Then, knight f3, bishop takes, and bishop d3. Here we are. Once again, white want to play knight to f3, bishop d3. And this time, he simply does not sacrifice the d4 pawn, but he prefers to try d takes c5. But what? Look, f6, attacking the center immediately. And now if he takes on f6, it's nothing, because knight takes f6, short castle, and then f5, e4, e5, e4 will come, and with great play for black. So you have to play queen e2. Oh, there is a follower. Hello, no friction. Hello, no friction. Thank you for following me. I hope you can enjoy this brief tutorial on the French advance. So I was saying that he has to go queen e2 because he has to maintain the pressure somehow. And what do? We simply liquidate in the center. F takes, queen takes, knight to f6. There is no attack whatsoever after castle, and then you can play the bishop back to d6, expel the queen from e5, and you go. The black goes e5, and this is another marvelous position for black. So, at this point in time, I have given proof that the only move for an advantage in the exchange French is c3 by white. What do? Okay, the idea and the plan that I want to show you is really simple, really effective. Now we are attacking the base of the pawn chain, and we simply want to go knight to c6, bishop to d7, and then f6, attacking also the front of the chain. And why these two moves? We play these two moves before f6 because I don't want to go, for example, knight to c6, f6, and then find the knight pinned by bishop b5, because this pin is very powerful. It pins my knight and thus gains stronger control on these squares. Okay. And with the knight and bishop already on d7, bishop b5 is a blunder, because I can go, of course, knight takes c5, exposing a bishop here. And what do? If you take the knight, I take the bishop. If you get the bishop with check, the knight gets back, and I'm completely fine. Okay, so let me just all this rubbish. Okay, great. So we go c3, knight c6, knight f3, normal move, bishop d7, and now we have 3 possible moves for white. Okay, let's see a3 first. a3, I don't think it is good here, because maybe with the queen on b6, maybe it is sensible to try to go before, something like that. But here is a loss of time, I think, because you simply go f6 immediately, and then what white can do. If white takes on f6, he simply decides that he will never be able to get an advantage, but he it's not a great move, of course, to liquidate the center. He will go bishop d3, and so you take. He takes with the pawn, okay, and now queen to c7. Queen to c7, queen e2 is the normal move, because now he wants to try to also to open the center with c4, but we go c4 instead, and look, very massive central presence for black. The bishop goes c2 and we go g6, where there is a really very good play for black, because after we go bishop g7, the e5 pawn is under pressure, and then we can go, for example, long castle, for example, and then knight to h6, knight to f7. We can go something like this. Look, something like this, and then this one or that one, okay? And there is a really good play for black. So I think that 6a3, you simply go f6, and a3 is a completely waste of time. Then there is, of course, the Milner-Barry Gambit, 6 bishop d3. I was when I played e4 with white, I was playing the Barry, but ultimately I had to stop playing because I was destroyed in a game against a strong candidate master, Giorgio Litropi for Bergamo, and I just show you the moves, okay? I just show you the moves. The game went like this: c takes d, c takes d, queen b6, castle, knight takes, of course, knight takes, queen takes, knight c3, and now a6, key move in the defense. But I was not worried at this point in time. Queen e2, knight e7, rook h1, king h1, because I want to go f4. White wants to go f4. Knight b4, rook d1, and then most important thing to remember, this is all theory, very, very well-known theory, is almost a tabia of the position. You don't go here, knight takes bishop, but you go bishop to c5, and white is almost busted because there is really not enough compensation, not enough. So if you want to play against the Barry and you want to accept the pawn, you can go for this variation. I really recommend it, and I think that it completely solves a black problem. The problem is that, of course, you have to know also the sub-variation, and it is quite dangerous to enter the gambit if you don't really know the theory well. Suppose that you are on the board and you are afraid you don't remember the theory of this line. What do? You simply bail out, like I'm used to do these days against bishop to d3. What do? I go rook to c8, and introducing the threat of c takes d, and then knight to b4, attacking d3, attacking c2, and in fact I gain the white square bishop with the leader in white formation. Okay. Now a3 is recommended because it does not want my knight to land on b4, but here is the point. Then what do? I switch, c takes, and then queen b6. Really interesting move, because now I really want to play the Barry, where my rook c8 move is most important than his a3 move. So I enter the gambit in a slightly different way that gives even much power to the black pieces. And I don't think that here white should sacrifice the pawn, because as usual, castle take, queen take, knight c3, a6 as usual. And I think this position is really good, really a great position for black, because he can play the variation like before, but he has the rook on c8, giving him extra option, while the pawn on a3 is not of great importance. Okay? So, with against, let's say, queen to b6, white should be better go bishop to c2, defending the pawn. At this point in time, you have to remember a very key move that will put your opponent completely off balance, and here your own preparation will play an important role, and you can win the game with that move. G5, I love. This is the black jet, like Victor Moskalenko calls the G7, G5 push. Let's go for the black jet. And the black jet is really powerful because, of course, bishop G5 is not possible, for B2 is Empri. And knight takes not possible because D4 falls. And if he tries to stop mechanically the pawn, you go H5. You go all out H5, nothing gonna stop you now. And if he plays H3, what do? Okay, you simply take the pawn, but what is that? You are sacrificing a piece, but it's really, really a great sacrifice. Now, if he takes with the queen, you simply takes on c2 the bishop. If he takes with the knight, you go bishop c5. And now there are really a lot of problems, because the knight must move as bishop e3 is not possible. We already saw that bishop e3 hangs the pawn on b2, and then the rook and everything is Empri. So he has to go knight to e2, and then check rook f1, because, of course, king f1, because tell me, what do you do if king goes to d2? Of course, you go queen e3, checkmate. Kudos for finding that, but it was very, very, very easy. So rook f1, and now what do you do when you attack? You open the f file, f6. Now you want simply to play f takes e5 and put a rook on f8. Okay, if he takes, you go knight f6 and short castle, and there is really a great play for black position to enjoy. This is really easy and funny chess to play. So this is my my recipe against the bishop d3 variation. Bishop d3. Okay. If you feel confident, you remember the theory, you can enter the Milner-Barry straight away. Okay. If not, you can try the rook c8, a3, c takes, queen b6 trick, and this is really tricky position. And if white has never seen before on the board, it can easily go wrong, and it's possible you win this game in 20 moves. So the only move that after in this position, the most important move is bishop to e2. Quite a natural and strong move. Okay, what do we do here? We simply go and break with f6. I really love this kind of plan. What do? You go c5. Then you protect yourself against the pin on the knight, playing knight c6, bishop d7, and then boom, you go f5. Two strong attacking move in green, and two strong attacking and also prophylactic move in yellow. Black is playing at full speed here. I really love this position. Then let's say short castle. Okay, we take here, and then white. I think white can take with the knight or with the pawn. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's better with the knight, but it's your choice, because with the knight it relieves some of the cramp position on black, but also opens the way to other pieces to enter in the king side. and if it takes with the pawn like this, he has some difficulties in bringing the pieces to the king side, but still keeps a hold on the position. Let's see, for example, it takes it with the pawn. You go, for example, here it is interesting also to go immediately. Knight h6, knight h7 can also be interesting option, but queen c7 is really easy chess. You attack the pawn 2 times, and if he goes, for example, bishop f4, you can go knight h6, knight f7, and if he goes, okay, bishop f4, knight to h6, knight to f7, but also knight e7, knight g6, like we saw in the variation before, is completely logical and playable. If it goes c4, trying to open the center, you must absolutely close the door. d4 is important, okay? Never open the center, just push and close immediately the structure in the center, because we are going to castle long, and we need to keep the structure closed. Then knight to h6 and knight to f7 is the continuation. In this position against queen to c7, rook e1 is a move, and then knight to h6, c4, d4, bishop f4, and now simply bishop e7, and you can go either short or long. For example, short castle here is completely fine, but I would say that also long castle, I think, okay? For example, let's say he goes knight a3, threatening to jump into b5, you go a6, and then you go long and put a knight on f5 or put a knight on f7, and it is a really good play for black. Most principle played. The position is sane. Check it with your computer. Now, while I talk to you, I have a Stockfish 8 at 64-bit that is saying minus 30, minus 40. All the position, the very incredible thing is that all the position that I show you this night are better for black listening the computer. And so what does it mean? It means that the e5 push in the French at move 3 is not principle. It's not principle move. You waste a tempo to gain some space, but you lock the center, and when you lock the center, and then black can break out like this. I really love it. Now, let's get back here to the point in time where we go f takes e5. What if it takes with the knight? It is even simpler, because we swap knight and then go queen c7. And if he tries to open the center, we keep it close. And if he goes bishop f4, we castle. And if he try to push b4, what do you do? Okay, this is a run. This is a race, the gold race. The first that comes wins the gold. And so we go h6, knight to d2, g5, bishop g3, knight to e7, and we complete the development of pieces going knight to f5, bishop to g7, with a really messy position ahead, but very, once again, very principled for black. The computer already says better for black, and so what do? You simply play it with a light heart, and pay attention at the tactics, because if you know where to put your pieces and you calculate tactics, you can get the better of it, and you can win many games against the advanced variation. Okay, so thank you very much for following me. Of course, you can also go to my channel, subscribe, put an alert when I stream, because there will be other theory lesson to conclude the French. I will also give you my point of view on the on the so-called boring francs exchange, or against the King's Indian attack against the French. For example, just the King's Indian attack is a marvelous option for black, because I always win or get favorable position against the King's Indian attack. And it is great that many attacking book against the French, they recommend King's Indian attack. I will show you how to play with black and get really good position in few moves with playing easy chess, easy in principle chess. The King's Indian attack is no good way to play against the French. I can tell you. Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day. Tomorrow is Workers' Day, 1st of May. Enjoy your time. Bye bye. Thank you very much. Okay, I have still plenty of beer, so I went faster than I thought. No friction. Thank you very much, and I hope that you enjoy. And simply, if you follow me, you give me the sense that what I am doing is not only for me, because of course I really do benefit repeating my line streaming. Then when I play on the board, I remember what did I said on Twitch. But you can enjoy and hopefully learn something. And if you are better play than me, of course you can enjoy in the session, and you can post any comment you want. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Okay, here we go.